Welcome back to another episode of I Don't Know. Today's guest, parentheses S guests, are really freaking cool. I'm really excited for you guys to see and hear them. So let's just get right into it. Here we go. First guest today is a professional volleyball player that is kicking butt right now in the brand new Athletes Unlimited League. She's played in Brazil, Italy, Poland, Azerbaijan. She's a former Penn State Nittany Lion volleyball player with multiple Big Ten and all league honors. She helped bring home 2 national championships, including her freshman year when she was named MVP of the match. She's currently representing the Ball Girls Do Lunch organization, a fellow College of Com grad, the fantastic, talented, strong Deja McClendon. Thanks for joining me.
Oh my goodness. No, wow. That was an awesome intro. I think the best I've ever had. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course, of course. It means a lot. So, I mean, how are you doing? You had a great game last night. It was a block party over there. It was kind of almost a little one-sided, I think. But how are you feeling? How are you doing?
I'm good. I think that a lot of that was really coming on like 3 days worth of work. I know that for us, a lot of us, we're not used to playing that many games in a row. And to be able to push it out and get those game wins was so huge for us. So yeah, I was really, really hyped about that last one.
Yeah, and this league it's so unique just because of the whole structure. And I guess as a player, when you know going in that everything's kind of individual and at the end of the day how you perform is really what matters, how does that change your kind of outlook every night and for the whole league?
It's really tough. I think to focus on like what you're doing as far as a team is more important than your individual stats at the end of the day. But it's so hard not to count the points as you make errors or as you start to score. And like those kinds of things creep into your mentality and they can be detrimental to your focus. So I always try to just focus on what I need to do to make sure that my team wins at the end of the day and to also continuously focus on not making errors.
Right, and I'll hit you with I think like a classic kind of athlete hypothetical. Would you rather have a game where you played phenomenal, lights out, but your team lost, or a game where you were kind of off, but your team got the job done?
100%. I'm off. I just was okay, but my team won 1000%.
I respect and commend you for that. I don't know if I could have said the same. It's a tough feeling either way if you feel a little short, but I think getting the team win is huge. And obviously in this tournament, it helps in your points factor as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think looking when you look at it stats wise, like right now for me, I've had on games and off games, but I'm undefeated as far as like game wins, and I'm still within the top 10. And so that's really been my focal point, and clearly that shows that it's been working. And hopefully that is I can continue to do that within within this big league with so many talented girls and not knowing whose team you're going to be on every week. But yeah, that's my focal point right now.
Yeah, and so you're ended up at the end of the last week. You are now in 8th place overall. You made a pretty decent jump from week 1 to week 2. I think you may have stepped it up a little bit offensively. What kind of helped you make that jump in the score rankings this week?
So MVP points really played a hand in it, I think. Definitely you need to score. I think you can see that within the top 4 players have been typically your outsides or your opposites who are big scorers. But generally, like right now, it's like, what can I do to make sure my team wins? And then how can I be a standout player? So whether that making a lot of digs or scoring a lot of points, being that glue that makes me stand out as an MVP can also help me get those extra points to climb in the rankings.
And that's something I've absolutely noticed just watching your game is I think glue is the perfect word because you kind of fill every aspect that's needed. When you need a block, you're out there block. You need a kill, you can get that. And of course, you're always out there digging everything, it seems like. What part of your game do you enjoy the most?
My game, I think, is vibing with the players. So finding out what it is that my team needs, or finding out what I can bring. Is that going to be energy this week, or is that going to be calm the next week, or is it going to be okay being a game time like factor? Like in this tough moment, I can find a way to make a important play, or is it going to be just being out of system? Okay, I can find a way to keep the ball in play. So it's kind of just figuring out what it is that my team needs from me, and how the players vibe together where I fit in.
And how does this league just compare to all the other leagues you've played in? Because you've been on a few teams in a few places. How does it stack up?
It's one of a kind. It's definitely something completely different. I think it's something we've all been waiting for. We've never had a league like this in the States. We've never had something that is player run. We've never had something where if we don't like it as players, we can say, hey, let's change this. Or, we have the opportunity to speak up and say, this is what we care about and this is what we want. So I think it's very unique. It's definitely something that I'm putting all my eggs in this basket, and I want this to survive, and I want this to be something that little girls can watch and say, hey, I want to do that one day. So it's more important to me than just my season or just the way I play, or if I'm the athlete, the unlimited athlete of the year. I want this to be a league that everybody can contribute to, and everybody can watch, and everybody can come and be a part of.
Absolutely. It's so much kind of bigger than just one set, one match, or one season. It's a huge step going forward to keep this going every year. Now, you mentioned again, it is very player run. How, I guess, not difficult or unique is it? So, because you guys have to call your own timeouts, your own substitutions, your own challenges. Is it more comfortable because it's something you can kind of can make have a consensus as players, or is it a little more difficult when you're used to having that coach? You can kind of make those tougher mental decisions.
I think that's a very interesting question. So I haven't been captain yet, and that's something that the captain controls. And so, yeah, you can completely decide whether or not you want to call a timeout, or who you want to start, or if you even want to practice during the week. That is something that completely changes week to week depending on who your captain is. So personally, for me, I think it's very important to rest as far as like your team, because we're not used to playing 3 matches in a row. And that's huge for me to listen to my body. But also, you have a lot of amazing coaches right now who are just dying to give you input and work on stuff and to fix this and to fix that. So it's a very hard balance. I'm crossing my fingers that if I do have the opportunity to be a captain, that I will be able to have a coach who understands that.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. All the coaches that are there just itching to coach. They just want
Right.
to
I'm like,
get.
do you want to do this, or do you not want to do this, including the draft, because they have a big hand in that draft as well.
Right. Well, so you mentioned taking care of your body. I'm going to throw it back a little bit. I'm not even sure if you'll remember this. Do you still eat 3 packs of M&Ms per day?
Oh my God, definitely not. I would disintegrate into a diabetic coma. No, I definitely don't do that. I used to eat like a Rice Krispie treat between each match. Like it would literally be on the bench waiting for me because I just needed so much sugar to continue to go. That is not me anymore, but I still try to carb load
Do you still do
before the
the bagel with
games.
cream cheese and butter? Do you do that?
Honestly, like I crave like Waffle Shop before the games. Like there's something in me that's like, I need a blueberry pancake. Like I need that. Or like, um, yeah, definitely the night before I still want to eat like a big, heavy, carby meal.
Right. I don't blame you. And I got a couple Penn State questions. I have one that's kind of PG, one a little PG-13. I'm not sure what life was like for you. I never had the student athlete life, so I don't know how busy you were. So we'll start PG. What was your favorite place to eat at Penn State?
Favorite place to eat at Penn State? Wingstop. Do we have Wingstop? Or Wings Over?
Wings over.
Wings Over. I haven't been to Penn State in a bit, so excuse me, but Wings Over. That was definitely the go-to drunk meal.
Okay, I'm glad you mentioned that. It's a little PG-13. What was your favorite bar downtown if you ever had the time to go?
Oh my gosh. That's kind of hard. I'm not gonna lie to you, like, so I didn't like, I was underage coming into Penn State and didn't have a lot of time to go to the bars, and we did a lot of house parties, just like with volleyball house, that was our style. Um, where did we go? Bar Blue? Was that it? Yeah, I feel like Bar Blue was our go-to place for a while.
Bar Blue's a good one. Were you a big Skeller fan? I know I that
The Skeller. Oh my gosh. Yes. That's the place that had the wings, right? Am I
well, see,
wrong?
I don't know
The
because
Dark Horse. The Dark Horse had the wings. Dark Horse had the wings. That doesn't exist anymore.
neither
So
does the
that's
Skeller.
wow, guys. You're like aging me right now.
Times are times are changing. It's sad. I think it was there my freshman year, but I was 18, so I couldn't go. And there was a whole rally to save the Skeller, save the Skeller. But
Okay. So I don't know if this will age me or not, but there's a bar called The First. I don't know if it's still there or not.
yep,
And I lived right across the street. And when we were living there, they opened up like a bar that was right above The First that was like open during the day, but also like was kind of a bar at night. And it had another name like Ernie's or something like that, but we just called it The Second because it was like right above The First. So the second was kind of like someplace I was at every day because it was just across from my house.
I think it's still there. I don't know if it's above though. I feel like Ernie's is ringing a bell, but I think it's next to it
Okay.
now.
Well, the first is like kind of underground, right? If I'm
Yeah.
not. So
No,
yeah, it was like
you're 100% right. Actually, it is above it. It's
like
first
catty
level,
corner.
but
Yeah, first level of it. Yeah, exactly.
as a player who played at Penn State for 4 years, you have to have a favorite Russ Rose story.
Yeah, I think we have a lot. I think my favorite Rose story is probably when I first like was thinking about committing. It was like my trip that I was going on where I was like, I knew I was going there. I was probably going to sign as soon as I left. And I was talking to him in his office and he doesn't make promises. Like he never says like, you're going to play, or you're going to do this, you're going to do that. But he told me he was going to make me the best volleyball player that he could make me. Like he was going to get me there. He didn't say how, he didn't say how much work it was going to be. He didn't say the torture that we were going to go through or like how much I was going to cry or any of that stuff. But he said he was going to make me the best volleyball player that I could be. And I believe that was true. And I think he never lied to me. And I think that was so huge. And still to this day, I'm very, very thankful that I stepped into that office and that I ended up being able to be coached by him. So
And I think you did a great job at making you the best volleyball player you could be. Did you ever see him smile? I don't think I ever saw him smile.
yes, yeah, all the time. It's like more of a smirk. Um, yeah, and I mean, I think the best thing ever is like when you get coach to laugh. Like if you can get him to chuckle, you really did something. If you get him to compliment you, you really better enjoy that because that doesn't happen often.
It's rare. How many compliments do you think you got in your 4 years?
I can count them on one hand.
That's amazing. I think for one of my journalism classes, the first sporting event we went to was a women's volleyball match, and we got to interview Russ in the presser. And this was the first time I ever asked like anyone a question. It was so nerve wracking. He would just stare down at you and just like, I don't know.
Waiting for a good question for sure.
Exactly. Let's switch gears in another direction. So Athletes Unlimited is doing a really cool thing. Every athlete has a cause.
Mm-hmm.
In your cause, you're representing Ball Girls Do Lunch. Just briefly explain how much does that organization mean to you and how awesome is it to be able to represent that as you're playing in this great league?
I think Bald Girls Do Lunch is a very interesting organization. I think it means a lot to me because I have a personal connection with alopecia areata, which is where you lose your hair either due to stress or For me, it's an autoimmune disease, and a lot of people suffer with it, a lot of women and girls, but we don't talk about it so much. And so I think it's a cause that doesn't have a lot of awareness behind it, and people feel this huge shame and like stigma about losing hair as females. And um, a lot of that comes with being a visible person. So playing volleyball and being on TV or being in the eye of the public, um, I don't have the opportunity to hide it. And I think for me, it was very um, eye-opening to see how important it was for me to be visible and how impactful it was for others for me to be visible. And so joining with Bald Girls Do Lunch, um, their cause and their whole idea is to empower women who are dealing with this and give them the ability to grow their own confidence back and to be visible and to go into public with or without hair and to feel like themselves again. And that's my whole motto, and that's what I believe in wholeheartedly. So I'm really, really excited to be representing them.
And you mentioned earlier when we were talking about the league in general, kind of being that role model for little girls watching. I think you're doing just a phenomenal job at that, and I think you're inspiring girls that have this issue that it is okay, and you are, I mean, crushing the look. Absolutely, you have swagger and confidence. It is incredible. It's if you had any sliver of doubts, which I don't think you do, you are killing it. Trust me.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's room for slivers of doubt. That's how I feel about it. I think, I'm lucky because I had the choice, but also even if it wasn't a choice, I want people to realize that like hair doesn't make you. You are who you are, and you should love that about yourself. So I appreciate that.
Of course, it's absolutely true. And now, obviously, you're not the only player with a cause. Every player's got a cause in this league. Why is that so special and so important that to you that every player can represent something?
Well, when you look at the way we're paid as female athletes in particular, we all have things that we care about. We all have causes that we want to incorporate into our daily lives or we want to give back to. And if you don't make what LeBron James makes as a professional athlete, or you don't make what the boys make, even in volleyball as a professional athlete, you can't afford to give back to the things that you care about. And so being able to work for a league that is willing to donate to a cause of your choice means a ton. It means so much. It means we finally have the ability to give back to where we came from or things that built us or little girls who we were. And that is something I've never come in contact with before. I don't see anything else out there like it. And it makes Athletes Unlimited extremely unique and very, very important.
And I think it's phenomenal just when when you obviously I don't know how much you've been able to watch. I don't know if you watch their matches, but watching on television, it's so cool because someone will get a kill or a big stuff block and they'll put their organization, and especially in the year we've had where there's so many struggles all across the world. It's just really cool to see something like that brought up kind of every time.
Yeah, and it tells you a little bit about each player as well, like what they really care about or what they stand for or what grew them. And I think that's another way to actually get more involved as fans with the athletes because once again, like we've created this league and we want people to know us and experience us in a different way.
Absolutely. And now moving into this next week, you are, I believe, you're back on Team Larson again. Did I see that correctly?
I am. Yeah.
So
I wasn't
moving
on Team Larson last week, but I was on her team the first week.
the first
Yeah.
week. So moving into this third week and for the rest of the league, what can we expect from Deja McClendon?
Good question. Well, I told you my goal. It's to be on every winning team. It's to fill the gaps and to make sure that I'm finding a way to push my team in the best way possible. improvement, because I think that's the name of the game for me. Might not have started out hot, but I'm gonna finish hot, and that's my goal. So, yeah, that's what you can expect from me.
Well, I can't wait to see it. I think you've already been crushing. I think you're going to climb up that leaderboard in no time, getting MVP votes, getting stuff blocks, digs, kills, everything you need, supporting a great cause. Deja, thank you so much for coming on with me today. It means a lot. I really appreciate it.
Wow, that was so fun. Thank you so much for having me. And as always, we are Penn
Penn
State.
State.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. Good luck.
Bye.
That was Deja McClendon, and don't you fret because we have another tremendous athlete coming up. So if you need to go take a break, go to the bathroom, get a snack, that's okay. But don't go anywhere. Stay right here because we have another guest coming up. Here we go. All right. So we have now another professional volleyball player and a quite impressive one at that. She is number one on the Athletes Unlimited leaderboard 2 weeks in a row, a two-time Olympic gold medalist, a 2014 World Championship winner, an international superstar player with Russian, Chinese, and Turkish clubs, a Nebraska Cornhusker legend, the incredibly talented and oh so smooth Jordan Larson. Thanks for joining me.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
So, how are you feeling right now? You guys have this, on for lots of days and off for a little bit. How's your body? How's your mind? How are you doing?
Yeah, I feel better than I thought I would, to be honest. I was like, that's a lot of matches in like a short amount of time. But also I think it's gonna continue like to get harder. I feel like I did a pretty good job before I came here of getting in the weight room and getting stronger, and I think that's really like paying off right now, and I'm hoping that continues. Of course, like today I didn't jump though in practice. I was like, jumping not my thing right now. So hopefully as the week goes on, I'll start ramping up and then get ready for the matches as well. So I would say a mix of both and just a daily check-in with myself.
That makes sense. And as I said, you're the number one on the leaderboard 2 weeks in a row. How's how's the vibe? How's the mental status? How do you feel right now?
Yeah, I think in general, right, it's tough because while yeah, I'm leading, right? Like there's a lot of players maybe that aren't seeing the court or, are feeling, maybe not not as excited about the process, and so trying to be sensitive to that as well, and just how do we make sure everyone feels valued, and that this is all part of the fun is just as a competitive athlete, and trying to be the best you can every day. And it's uber competitive, and it's been super fun to see how people are drafting and like what they value personally, and how that changes week to week. And so, yeah, it's good. I feel good, but I think just you want everyone to feel included and to be a part of it. And that weighs on me sometimes.
And that kind of leads perfectly into my next question. So you've played in a lot of different leagues and other places. This is kind of the first of its kind, really, here. How much of you is just happy to be here and to help grow and promote this league and make sure it's last for a long time? And then how much of you wants to win and wants to take it all home?
Yeah, there's definitely a mixture of that. I think I'm super like excited to be here. I think I still have to like wake myself up like that we're actually here, like I'm in America and like things are so accessible, and like I mean granted we're still like in a shield and like very protected, but like I can order Uber Eats, like getting food is like so that sounds so crazy, but and just being able to speak English with teammates, that stress of that has been a lot easier. And then but then I'm uber competitive and probably too competitive at times that I like overlook, like I will do whatever I can to win. And so um while I hope to win, that obviously is not where I find my value. My value is how can I get better every single day, and how can that continue to improve even through this whole process. And obviously I have like stuff to come, and like the summer and all those things. So that's kind of where my building blocks are, I guess you could say, or like where my focus is at. So
Yeah, that makes sense. And how, just compared to the other leagues you've played in with this one, so individual and so player focused, how does your mentality change, match to match, night to night, or throughout the whole season?
Yeah, I think when I came in here, I just really wanted to focus on I'm never been a one to get excited about individual awards or anything like that. Like I just want to be a part of a good team and to win, you know? And so I think how can I get the best out of my teammates that are around me and how can I elevate them to play the best that they can be, but then at the end of the day also maybe leading by example where that is like my play can help those around like me as well. And so kind of finding that like fine balance. It definitely is different in the sense that like you have maybe a little more control like on like who you want to play around and things like that if you're winning and doing well yourself. But also I think it's a little bit of a target on your back too, you know, because people are, you know, wanting to, you know, win or do better than you. So I know it's a fine balance. And I don't know if I answered that right, but that's kind of like where my mind is at. So I'm still trying to navigate all myself. Honestly, I was like, I played in a lot of like high level things, you know, and like this is like super stressful, you know, like because it's like I don't know how people are going to react or you know how are people going to perform and you know it's just a lot of things that we don't normally as athletes have to worry about, right? We especially overseas, it's very like I just need to worry about myself and that's it, you know. But as captain, you're worrying about practice, you're worrying about the coach, you're worrying about how your teammates are feeling, you know. So it's just a lot on you.
And again, that leads me into my next question. So it's so player focused, and as captain, you're scheduling practice, you're picking the teams, you're calling timeouts, you're deciding whether to challenge or not. As a player, is it nice to be able to just make those decisions and trust your gut, or do you kind of miss having a coach to make those kind of more technical decisions, and you can just go out there and play?
Yeah. I do like the freedom, and I think it's been really cool to see, like, obviously being captain of the US team, like, I have a little bit more practice as far as, you know, setting up meetings or, you know, setting the schedule, you know, those kind of things. But it's been cool to see maybe people that haven't been put in a role like that before and just to see them, like, kind of really step into that and really embrace it and really see that. I think for me, I actually like a little bit of both. So I like being able to like send out the schedule or kind of having somewhat of a voice in that side of it. But like the technical and like coaching side while I'm playing, like I want that to be like the coach, and I do miss that. And I think our coaches are doing, our facilitators, coaches I call them, are helping a lot with that, and so that's taking a little bit of the pressure off too.
So you definitely like kind of the aspect of organizing things and making decisions, but when you're on the court, you kind of want to focus on the game right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you see coaching in your future?
I do. I think I could add value and but I also just want to take some time and make sure it's something that I really am passionate about and um yeah, we'll see. I'm definitely interested for sure. So we'll see.
Okay, I have a quick favor to ask you if that's all right.
Yeah, okay.
So I played volleyball. My girlfriend played volleyball, and she looks up to you. She was beside herself when I told her that you actually agreed to come on and do this interview.
Yeah.
Would you mind if I sent her the Zoom link and kind of surprise? She doesn't know that we're on yet. She knows we're going to talk. Would that be okay
Okay.
with you?
Yeah, absolutely. Cool.
Yeah, she used to. She said for high school volleyball tryouts, she would just watch your highlights like in computer
No,
class and like
oh,
get
cool.
hyped up. Yeah, I will. I'll send it to her now. I'm trying to get her on.
All
Who were
right.
some players that you kind of like looked up to when you were first getting started?
Yeah, I think for me, Logan Tom was one person that I really looked up to. And then there was a couple girls on the Nebraska volleyball team, which is where I ended up going to college. Angie Oxley, who is actually the assistant coach at Creighton now. I actually took lessons from her when I was in high school. And so really cool to see and learn from her. And then now, like, obviously we stay in touch now that she's coaching and things like that. So, um, yeah, those are probably the two that I really looked up to for sure.
Did you come from a volleyball family, or is this something you kind of discovered on your own?
Yeah, I my parents were very athletic. So like my mom played basketball in high school and then my dad went on to play football at a D2 school in Nebraska. And so athletic family, but like not so much centered around volleyball, just basketball. And so uh yeah, my stepdad actually got me involved in volleyball with like club volleyball and things like that. So that's kind of where it had started. So
Okay. Okay. Still waiting on her response. We'll
no
get
worries.
back
No
to you
worries.
there. So I want to kind of switch gears a little bit, and I know what's really cool about this league is that every player has like a fund that they represent in the cause.
Yep.
Yours is the Pink Fund. How did you kind of find that group, and why did you make it? What connection do you have to it?
Yeah. So I think my mom actually was diagnosed with breast cancer from I was a young age. So I was in high school, and then she actually passed away. It'll be about 11 years this year, and so I don't know, ever since she was battling breast cancer, I don't know, it's just always kind of is a passion of mine. So before every Olympic Games, I actually would do like a t-shirt sale, and I would donate the proceeds to a family that's battling cancer. And it was just something that really, like, I don't know, filled up my cup. Like, it's just something I really like valued a lot. And when I heard about the causes, that we get to play for something, and that part of our bonus gets to go towards a nonprofit of our choice. I know I just started researching and just like, what am I passionate about? Like, what do I see this going? And obviously I think Susan G. Komen would probably be like an obvious answer, right? Like breast cancer awareness for sure. Like, but to me, it seemed like such a large like company, right? Or a large thing that I just didn't feel like it was tangible for me. And I wanted to find maybe a smaller company that I could see like direct impact. And so I actually reached out to the Pink Fund on Instagram, and I was like, hey, like we're doing this thing, like here's the website. Like I would really like reading about what you guys do. Like I would really love to like get you guys involved and like help you guys out. And like instant response, and like we jumped on a phone call, just they wanted to learn more about the league. And what the Pink Fund does is they basically offer women that are battling breast cancer, you know, they have often the stress of like providing the funds for the treatment, right? But they also have the stress of like providing for rent or, you know, other external expenses. And so um that's kind of where the Pink Fund helps, is like those external expenses. And so I really love that side of it and really wanted to give back to them. And that's the relationship has been really awesome, and they've been super supportive of this whole thing. And it just adds another layer of like why you play, right? Like I always had my mom as my motivation, but like having that and knowing that some of the proceeds are going to go to them is even more like fulfilling. So
That's fantastic. Well, Shayna is joining now. So hopefully she turns. Shayna, I want you to meet someone.
Hi.
hi, how's it going?
How
Good, good.
are you? God, this is so cool. Oh my God. I don't even know what to say. You should have prepared me, Noah.
I wanted it to be a surprise. Shayna, this is Olympian Jordan Larson, by the way. Jordan, this is my girlfriend Shayna.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Meet you too. You're
I
literally
hear
my volleyball idol, like all after high school.
you play volleyball, right? Or you did, or
Yeah, I did in high school, not so much anymore with college and classes going on, but yeah.
that's cool. And where do you go to school?
I go to Pitt.
Pitt, nice. Are you liking it? They have a pretty good volleyball team.
Yeah, they're D1.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I literally watched like before I even tried out for volleyball for like freshman year high school. I watched probably like every single Olympics women's team volleyball video on YouTube like by like 2015.
That's awesome. I was the same way though. I remember growing up like watching people like before me and just like, oh, one day I'm gonna be there, you know, and like now I'm like, oh, like I gotta do all these things. Like this it's so I don't know. Like I have to like slap myself sometimes. I'm like, this isn't real, you know? Like I feel like I'm still that little girl that's like sitting at home like watching all these videos, you know? And so it still is very, very weird to me. So
Yeah, it's literally crazy. Oh my God.
what are you studying in school?
I'm a neuroscience major and I'm pre-vet.
Well, there you go. That's a cool path.
Thank you.
We actually just got I don't know what he's told you, but we're playing in Athletes Unlimited, which is a new pro league in the States. And there's actually a lot of dogs that we have been like, a lot of the girls brought their dogs, and one girl just got a puppy today. And yeah, it's the cutest little thing. It's so cute.
God.
Yeah.
I don't have a dog here at school, and I'm like, I want a dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whenever I'm home.
Do
Yeah.
you have any dogs, Jordan? Are you a dog person?
I do. We have an English bulldog that we adopted like a year ago. His name is Spud. He's such a personality. I never grew up with dogs in the house. Like I grew up on a farm, so dogs were always outside. And so it's like such a little bit of a new, concept for me. I'm like, oh, they're in the house and like it's just so different. But
Yeah.
he's been awesome and great. So
Did you
Oh,
bring him
no.
over to Dallas with you or no?
I didn't. No, it was just I think the travel flying was because they have such a flat nose, like it's hard for them to breathe. And I was like, we only have electric cars, so like driving that full way from California would have been like a nightmare. So
Yeah.
Mm.
My dog doesn't do car rides.
yeah.
Cool with
So
me.
what avenue do you want to go? Is there a specialization with like certain vets that you do, or?
I definitely want to do surgery, but I'm not sure like if I want to do small animals or large animals or even maybe like exotics. I think that might be cool. But I haven't like had much experience aside from just like dogs and cats and
Yeah.
pets like that.
And what year are you right now?
I'm a junior.
Junior. Okay. And
She's
then do you have to go ahead?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say she's incredibly talented and a million times smarter than me, so she's got the brightest future I've ever seen. But
No,
continue.
that's awesome. And how long have you guys been together?
We just started dating in October.
Oh, there you
Yeah.
go.
It'll be 6
It's new,
months.
blossoming.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I actually
awesome.
have her saved in my phone as Shannon. There's a little volleyball emoji because she told me she played, and that's always like an extra, like a cherry on top when you find that out.
Yeah,
So
for sure. That's an
We
added
played
layer.
volleyball on my first date.
yes, we did.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. It's meant to be, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah, you never
maybe
know.
Jordan. While I have you on, I have a question that I was telling Shannon it was bothering me. So in your website bio,
Yeah.
you say your favorite pregame food is protein and a veggie.
Yeah.
Any protein and any veggie in particular, or just anything?
Yeah, just anything really. Being from the Midwest, steak or beef is usually like what I like to go with. I can do chicken. And then I am a big Brussels sprouts person. I know that sounds disgusting. I used to hate Brussels sprouts. My mom used to burn them so bad, but then force me to eat them. And I'm like, these are awful. Like, no. But now I like can eat them like it's crazy. It's so good. So that's kind of like what I would go to.
Brussels sprouts. I
And I've
think
been
I'm
like
still in
low, and I've been
that-
low carb for a while. So just trying to decrease inflammation in the body for, trying to play as long as I can. So
Absolutely.
Trying to get Noah to eat more veggies.
yeah,
Not the biggest fan of them.
yeah.
I can do spinach. That's about
Okay.
it. That's about
That's
all I
it.
do.
Hey, that's good. Sometimes if you put it in a shake, like if you blend it up, you put all that spinach in a shake, you don't even taste it.
Maybe a little
Like-
kale, something like that.
Yeah, and like you add a little peanut butter, it just goes away.
All right, Jordan, I know you probably got to get to bed. You got practice and things to sort out. I don't want to keep you too much. So the last question, a couple more weeks of this league. What can we expect from Jordan Larson down the stretch?
Oh goodness. Well, I hope it's similar to first 2 weeks. That would be great. But I just think like being competitive and getting after it. And I hope the fans just really enjoy like what's being shown on TV. From all I've heard, it's been nothing but positive and it looks great on TV, which it's been an amazing experience. So I just hope they see a competitive environment and people just getting after it. So
Yeah, if you haven't had a chance to watch because you've been in it, take a second, record it and watch it because it's been amazing. It's been great television, great competition. We've loved it.
Yeah. That's
Jordan,
awesome.
thank you so much for taking the time to be here. I really appreciate it. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Nice to meet you both and good luck in school. And we'll talk to you guys soon. Okay.
Yep. Good luck the rest of the league. We'll be rooting for you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Jordan Larson, Deja McClendon, tremendous athletes, heroes, role models to so many. If you like this channel, if you like this video, please go and watch the Athletes Unlimited League. They still have a couple weeks left. It is amazing television, great athleticism, great competition, and it's just a lot of fun to watch. So go watch that. And otherwise, I don't know.